Tuesday, guys. Welcome back to Imperfect Action with Jade. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope your week is off to a good start. I don't have any calls lined up today. I'm going to make this short and sweet today. Have some meetings and some other things to do, but I want to go over some things in specific to talking to agents, doing the direct to agent marketing. I've seen some things lately just in Facebook groups and other things that, in ways which people are communicating with agents and responses that people are giving to agents. I want to speak on it for a little bit in hopes that it will help some of you guys maybe understand the mindset behind direct to agent and how to respond to them in certain aspects. So, hi, happy Tuesday. Thanks for coming in here and watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything at all throughout or later on, if you're watching this, always feel free to throw it in the comments. I love to chat with you guys, be interactive, hear feedback, hear opinions, anything like that. So with that being said, so something that I see a lot is people trying to, I don't know if bash is the right word, but it kind of is. They'll try to bash agents and try to use they'll come across very strong. I'm trying to think of the right words without painting the picture in the wrong light. But for example, I've seen someone post recently, they were texting an agent and the agent said something like, hey, I don't do business before 8 a.m. I guess that person had messaged them really early. Hey, I don't do business before 8 a.m. and we're not interested in creative finance, right? Like that was the text. And instead of, coming up with a professional and polite reply, the person decided to instead insult the agent. I don't know what the play was here. I don't know if it was like an ego thing. I don't know if they thought that that was going to progress the conversation in any way. The person decided to respond with, they said something along the lines of, oh, wow, you don't do business before 8 a.m. Aren't you such a hard worker? That's why this listing isn't selling. Something like that. And that's not going to do anything but piss the agent off. You're not progressing the conversation forward. All you did was completely kill that relationship. You, I guess, tried to show the agent that you were the top person, you're the top dog in the conversation, and decided to tell them they're not a hard worker. And I don't know what the plan is there. That is not how you do a direct to agent business. Your goal with direct to agent is to build relationships, not based on a single property, right? So even when you guys see me calling on properties, the goal is not to just talk about that specific property or just get information about that one. It's to build a relationship, become friends with the agent, get on a first name basis, become someone that they want to send listings to, try to get other business done with them. So, an easy response when an agent says, I know the biggest one is like, people like to go after agents for not knowing what creative finance is. I see that a lot, is like people that just learned what creative finance is decides to go and talk mess to an agent who doesn't know what it is. And agents aren't taught that. You're not taught anything about creative finance. There is a seller finance addendum, but it's touched on so lightly. Seller finance is not something that is brought up often at all. Even, seller finance is a pretty basic one that everybody knows, but even that is not brought up a lot in real estate offices. It's not, when you go to list a house, you're not saying, the seller is never really saying, hey, I want to seller finance this, right? Unless they're an investor, maybe, and that's their game plan. But for the most part, day in, day out, agents are not dealing with people that want to seller finance or want people to take over their mortgages. They're not even taught that that's a thing. That's not in any education at all. Offices are not talking about it. It's not a well-known common thing in the real estate agent space. So how would they know that, right? Unless they are an investor themselves, they've stumbled across things online, or they, gone to meetups, whatever. They've come across it in their own world, but not as a real estate agent. So for one, don't ever expect agents to understand what that is. With that being said, a lot more agents are becoming familiar because they're getting hit with so many offers that they're being forced to learn what it is. But even in that, they really don't fully understand it or know all the ins and outs. So don't act like agents know what it is. And don't get mad at agents for not knowing what it is. The play there is to be the professional, to be the one that can educate them, to be the buyer in their pocket that knows how to navigate these deals, knows how to educate them, knows how to educate their clients on these deals, not to be like, oh, you don't know what that is, and make them feel stupid. I've seen that before in another Facebook group, someone posting that, I don't remember the exact conversation. It's been so long since I seen this, but someone had posted that like a text thread with an agent. And the agent said something like, oh, Subto, what is that? What does that mean? And the person just started going off on them like, you don't know what that is. You're a real estate agent. You should know what that is. I can't believe that I know what it is and you don't. And this, and that. And I mean, what do you think that did to that relationship? First of all, it's really just, you're just wasting your breath if that's how you're going to respond. You're wasting your time doing direct to agent if that's your reaction to agents, or your reaction when someone doesn't understand something. You should, it's a simple conversation. I'm like, oh, okay, let me explain this. We do this all the time, right? And you're educating them. You don't want to make them feel stupid. If someone makes you feel stupid, are you going to want to do business with that person? Probably not. If someone insults you or anything like that, talks down on the way that you do business, talks down on you as a person, you're not going to do business with that person. Do you think I'm going to bring one of my listings to this buyer that just told me I was stupid, basically? I don't think so. I'm not going to. So I've just been seeing that a lot, and people post it in groups like, oh, look at me talking mess to these agents. Like, it's such a cool thing. And it's like, it's really not. It's not the way that business is done. You shouldn't be talking to people like that, especially people that you're trying to make money with and do business with and create long-term relationships. You're doing the exact opposite, and then you're going to gloat about it. So you can really have such an impact on the real estate agent space as an investor that, understands how to work with these agents in a professional manner, how to get your point across of what your goal is, how they can help you hit that goal, how you guys can do business together, make money together. And, you need to, it's all about the relationships. So if you can be that person that stands out when they have 30 other people calling them, pitching close to the same thing, and maybe those people are, talking down on them, are not taking the time to educate them, or, some people send email offers and then don't pick up their phone, or they just don't know how to answer questions, things like that. You can go a long way if you just know how to do those things, if you hold yourself as a professional. I think the main thing that goes, in my opinion, the thing that impacts so much is confidence. If you feel confident in what you're saying and what you're doing and who you are and how you can help them, that they can feel that through the phone. They can feel that. They can feel your energy. It makes them feel like they can trust you. It makes them feel like you're someone that they want to work with. Agents, sellers too. I personally think that agents can feel it a little bit more just because they're in the professional space more. But agents can feel when someone is calling and doesn't really understand what they're doing, or doesn't feel confident in what they're doing, or doesn't feel confident in the situation. And that immediately makes the agent not feel confident in you, right? If you don't feel confident in yourself, it's hard for the agent to believe that you're going to do what you're saying you're doing, or that you know what you're doing, because you don't sound like you truly do, right? So anyway, that was a long rant, but I mean, the main point is you need to watch how you respond to people. I get responses all the time. Agents can be rude. Don't get me wrong. Agents are so rude sometimes, and I've had, our team has had agents like bash our company, bash like our website, bash intelligence. I mean, just say the rudest things to you, and it can be hard not to respond back in the same energy, but don't. It's not worth it, and it only adds fuel to the fire. It's either, if you can't figure out how to respond in a polite manner and move on, don't respond at all. I mean, there's a lot of instances where I just leave those messages on read. It's just not worth the energy if they're being so rude. Forget it. There's another agent that is another call, another email away, that wants to work with you and wants to talk to you. So not every reply is worth your energy to mess with. And if you are going to reply, say something politely, and it's going to make the agent feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have reacted like that. This person is being really professional and nice, and maybe they'll take some notes, right? Sometimes I can't believe that some of the responses I get, but it happens, and your role is to be a professional and to respond as polite as you can. Be the bigger person. If you guys, there's a book that I've read it a long time ago. It's been so many years, so I decided I'm listening to it on Audible right now. It's really about this topic. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm gonna put that in here. I'm sure everyone's heard of that. It's pretty popular in the entrepreneur space. But it literally talks about these principles, and it talks about these principles, right? He gives an example in the book of a car salesman. Someone comes in to buy a car from the car salesman. The customer is talking about a different brand of car that is the car salesman's competition, right? So he goes on and on about how great this car is, and listing all the features, how much he loves this type of vehicle. And what a natural reaction would be is to start comparing your product, right? Comparing his car brand, and saying, oh no, mine's better in this, and this way. That one sucks because of this, and this, and like arguing with the customer, right? No, you're wrong. That's not true about this. Mine's actually better because of this. And in the book, it says it's what is arguing going to do, right? What's the saying? A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. You arguing with someone who is telling you what they believe in, you're not convincing them of anything. All you're doing is causing friction. So in the book, he said, instead of arguing with this customer that was so sure this car was right, I said, yeah, you're right. That car is really awesome. I totally agree. It does have this and this. And he just started completely agreeing with the client. Yes, I totally am on the same page as you. That car is a great car. So yeah, let's take a look, right? Let's go take a look at mine and just move past it, right? You agree and move on. You don't need to sit there and battle out every single thing that someone says. You'll hear that all the time, relating that back to real estate. All the time, people want to say something. People are stuck in their beliefs. You get people that think they know exactly what they're talking about, and for 100% fact that they're wrong. I still will not argue with them. I will let them talk and talk and talk until they can't no more and say what I have to say and move on. I don't create an argument out of it, right? Or I don't try to battle their opinion. Let me try to think of an example recently. So on Friday night, I had a group call with the person that brought the lead, an agent, and a seller. And on our end, the deal was not looking so great. Like it was not going to be such a hot deal. It's a really high entry fee. There's a lot of back payments. Agent wants like the highest commission amount. Seller wants still a ton of money on top of it. All these things, not great cash flow on the back end. And this agent and seller were so sure that this was a great deal. I mean, they both went on trying to convince us what a great deal this was. The agent went on and on. You could tell he strongly believed in what he was saying. But we had already looked at the data. I knew it wasn't truly facts, but he insists that he had other data to show us, and that he went on and on, like a whole sales pitch to us about how great this deal was. I didn't argue with him. I didn't go back and forth. I said, okay, sounds good. Send us over that data. We'll take another look at it, right? We'll see what we can do here. There's no point in me battling and saying, oh no, but we saw this and this. I don't think it's a great deal because of this. That's just going to cause more friction with that agent. That agent was so sure it was such a great deal and he truly believed everything he was saying. Even if I don't believe that, I don't need to sit there and start a whole argument and go to battle with this guy that I'm trying to work out a deal with and build a relationship with, right? So you can just say, okay, sounds good, and move on from the points. He feels like he stood his ground and said what he needed to say. And he probably feels really good that you just said, okay, sounds good, and moved on, and you basically agreed with him, right? Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's do what we got to do. So he left that conversation probably feeling a lot better than if I would have gone to battle with him on what he had just gave me a whole speech about, right? So anyway, hope this was helpful. I know that it can be, in the world of investors, there's like inside jokes, right? And like, oh, agents don't get this, agents do this, agents do that. And it's true. All those things can be true. But for you to go and, say these rude things to agents or just not conduct yourself in a professional manner and then go show it off to a group, I don't think is the right thing to do to build a business long term. So just wanted to hop in here and talk a little bit about that, and in hopes that that'll be helpful to some of you guys having conversations when it can get hard and you want to argue or you want to, snap back at some things. So if you guys need any help, as always, I'm going to throw a link in here real quick. If you guys need help closing deals, if you have leads that you've called and you're like, okay, I need an offer, I need this underwritten, I don't know what to do from here, I need someone to talk to this agent or seller for me, you can submit it to this link. I can take a look at the deal for you, help you out. And as always, you guys can DM me on Instagram as well. We can chat in there about anything you're needing some help with. And if you guys have any feedback, comments, questions, just let me know. Throw them in the comments after this video. And until then, I will see you guys next time.